So imagine this, the Young Avengers finally taking down Kang the Conqueror, the big bad who's been teased for years across the multiverse saga. The battle's epic. Explosions, teamwork, sacrifice, the kind of scene Marvel dreams of. But just as the team celebrates their hard-earned victory, Kang's body hits the ground, and out of his armor falls a little note. It reads, "Please be patient with me. It's my first day as a Kang." Yes, that was actually one of the ideas Marvel writers seriously pitch for Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. And the craziest part? That entire movie, everything about it, has now been completely rewritten into Avengers Doomsday, with Robert Downey Jr. himself returning to the MCU as a villain. So what really happened behind the scenes? What was this alternate version of the Kang Dynasty supposed to look like? And could Marvel have actually pulled off a story that's funny, ironic, and tragic all at once? Let's break it down. Before Avengers Doomsday was even a thing, Marvel's plan for the Kang Dynasty was in full swing. The script was being developed by Michael Waldron and Jeff Loveness, two of the studio's top creative minds. Waldron, known for Loki and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and Loveness, the writer of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, were building toward what was supposed to be the massive follow-up to Endgame. But then everything changed. Jonathan Majors, who played Kang, faced serious legal troubles and was eventually dropped from the MCU. That move sent Marvel into full creative chaos. Suddenly, the Kang Dynasty title didn't even make sense anymore. How do you center an entire saga around a villain you can no longer use? So the studio pivoted, big time. They rebranded the film as Avengers Doomsday, shifted the focus away from Kang, and to everyone's surprise, brought back Robert Downey Jr., not as Tony Stark the hero, but reportedly as a variant of Iron Man who takes on the mantle of Dr. Doom. Yeah, let that sink in. But before that major rewrite happened, Waldron revealed something pretty fascinating. He and Jeff Loveness had once pitched a completely different take for the Young Avengers, and it's both hilarious and a little tragic. According to Waldron, he and Loveness spent an entire afternoon pitching a storyline where the Young Avengers finally defeat Kang. The team wins. Everyone cheers. It's their big moment. But then they realize they didn't actually beat the Kang. They beat a variant, a rookie, a beginner in the Kang hierarchy of conquerors. They imagined this version of Kang carrying a little card that literally said, "Be patient with me, it's my first day as a Kang." In other words, the Young Avengers would have defeated a newbie Kang, not the master manipulator or time-warping warlord we've seen hinted at in Quantumania or Loki. Instead, they'd have taken down the equivalent of an intern in the multiversal hierarchy of conquerors. And to add another layer of weirdness, Waldron joked that this Kang might even have been the Lizard Kang from the end of Quantumania's post-credit scene. The quick shot with all those bizarre Kang variants cheering in the arena. It's a small idea, but honestly, it fits Marvel's style perfectly. It's meta, self-aware, kind of heartbreaking when you think about it. The Young Avengers think they've finally proven themselves, only to realize they fought the wrong guy. This pitch actually says a lot about where Marvel's headspace was before the shift to Doomsday. Back then, Marvel was clearly trying to set up a passing of the torch story, one where the new generation of heroes like Kate Bishop, America Chavez, Cassie Lang, and maybe even Wiccan and Speed would begin to step into the spotlight. It would have been their endgame moment. But Waldron and Loveness also understood the comedy and tragedy of the multiverse. By making Kang just another version of himself and not the one, they could undercut the usual Marvel victory trope. The heroes win, but they didn't really. And let's be honest, that's a very Marvel thing to do. You think it's over, but there's always another layer, another variant, another villain waiting just around the corner. Still, some fans might see that as a bit anticlimactic. If the Young Avengers are meant to symbolize the MCU's future, was it really wise to have their first big win be against the Kang who didn't even know what he was doing? It's funny, sure, but does it undermine their credibility as the next big heroes? That's where skepticism creeps in. Then came the pivot, and with it, the announcement at San Diego Comic-Con last year, Avengers Doomsday. Not only did the movie's title change, but the entire direction of the MCU shifted overnight. Marvel brought back the Russo brothers, the legendary directors behind Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, and Endgame. The pair released a joint statement expressing how excited they were to return to the universe that defined their careers. They said, "Being able to create stories and explore characters within the Marvel Universe fulfilled a lifelong dream of ours, and we discovered a powerful connection with audiences in each film we made. We're thrilled to collaborate once again with Kevin, Lou, and the entire Marvel team to bring this epic adventure in storytelling to new and surprising places." And this time, those new places apparently include Doctor Doom. That Robert Downey Jr. is playing a version of Tony Stark who becomes Doom in an alternate universe. That's one of the boldest moves Marvel has made since 2019's Endgame. So while the Young Avengers vs. Kang idea got scrapped, the spirit of the multiverse, the concept of endless variants and alternate realities, is still at the heart of Marvel's next phase. It's worth noting that Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars have both been delayed. Doomsday is now slated for December 18th, 2026, and Secret Wars for December 17th, 2027. The delays aren't surprising, given how massive these projects are shaping up to be, and the fact that Marvel's been restructuring its storytelling approach after several years of mixed fan reactions. Now, where do the Young Avengers fit into all this? From what's been teased, Marvel still plans to use the team in some form, possibly in Doomsday, Secret Wars, or even their own Disney Plus project rumored to be titled The Champions. That could actually make a lot of sense. If you think about it, the Kang Dynasty's scrapped version would have introduced them too early, without the emotional foundation they need. By the time Doomsday releases, we might have already seen more of their individual arcs developed across other series, which could make their team up far more meaningful. And if Secret Wars is really going to be Marvel's next Endgame level event, then holding off their full introduction until that point could be a smart play. Still, there's a small part of fans that can't help but wonder, what if the Kang version had stayed? Imagine this alternate universe. The Kang Dynasty goes ahead as planned. The Young Avengers take center stage. They defeat a rookie Kang in what could have been one of the funniest and most ironic moments in the MCU. They think they've saved the multiverse and then realize there are thousands more Kangs out there. That would have set up Secret Wars perfectly. It's ironic, though, because even though the idea sounds comedic, it actually would have deepened the theme of humility. The idea that even when you think you've won, the multiverse is too big, too chaotic, too unpredictable to ever truly conquer. But maybe that's the problem. Maybe Marvel wanted something darker, something more grounded after the somewhat mixed reception of Quantumania. A rookie Kang with a first aid card might have been too tongue-in-cheek at a time when Marvel desperately needed to raise the stakes again. So in a way, Doomsday feels like a course correction. Bringing back Downey as a villain is a statement. It's Marvel saying, okay, it's time to get serious again. And let's be honest, audiences are definitely going to show up for that. So what do you think about all this? Would you have wanted to see the Young Avengers take down a rookie Kang in what could have been one of the funniest and most ironic moments in the MCU? Or do you think Marvel made the right call by shifting the entire story toward Doctor Doom and reuniting the Russo brothers for Doomsday? Drop your thoughts below. I'm really curious where fans stand on this.